Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dennis Holmes. I'm the president of the Target Collaborative Group, and so happy to have you here in New Orleans, my hometown. I'm asked to speak up a little more. Thank you. I was asked to moderate this session, and so there'll be myself and two other speakers to follow. We'll hold questions to the end of the session. My topic is to discuss the Target Collaborative Group, Quality Collaborative. If you've been attending these meetings, you know that we've discussed about the possibility of developing a quality collaborative for several years, and so you're probably wondering, well, where is it? But I'm happy to report that it is now available and soon to be used, hopefully by yourself. The concept of the quality initiative, quality collaborative, which is a quality improvement initiative, is to improve the quality and safety of patient care treated with breast-conserving surgery and Target. To enable long-term follow-up and analysis and reporting, to facilitate development of best practices related to breast-conserving surgery and Target, to enable decision support and care pathways to enhance patient care, to explore new indications for breast-conserving surgery and Target, and for those that need it, to meet ASTRO's criteria for providing a registry on which patients can be enrolled for access to low KV RRT PVI. The concept of the Quality Collaborative is based upon the American Hernia Society Quality Collaborative, which is a prospective registry which now has about 60,000 patients treated with various forms of mesh for management of hernia conditions, and it involves 412 surgeons. This is based out of Cleveland Clinic. And so we basically use the concept that they've developed and developed the Quality Collaborative for breast Target and as a way of establishing a prospective registry that will be available to all Target users to allow them to compile their data in a common prospective registry. One of the first questions you may ask is this a research study? And the answer to the question is no, it is not. It's actually a quality improvement initiative, and as such, informed consent is not a requirement for participation or registering a patient within the registry. You must also wonder, is it something that will require IRB approval? And in general, that is not required for a quality improvement initiative, although you have to check with your local institution's requirements with regard to that. The prospective registry, the Quality Collaborative, it will be housed within the Zeiss Global Registry. It's a registry that currently contains data regarding patients undergoing KIFO-RRT, but we also have housed the Target Quality Collaborative within the same registry. The distinction here is that for patients enrolled in the registry based from U.S. patients enrolled in the registry, all of their data will be stored on a U.S.-based server. So although the global registry is a registry that's available and based, I think, in the U.K., the registry housing U.S. data will be restricted to patients to a server that is based in Seattle. So there was some concern about whether or not we'd be housing data internationally, and the security of the data, we've sort of gotten around that problem by restricting the server to a U.S. site, and as it turns out, it'll be housed on a server based in Seattle. This is just an example of some of the data fields that would be included. The database itself has hundreds of data fields, but we restricted it to a relatively few so that to reduce the burden of participation. So although at the local site you may choose to track more data points, the minimum requirement will be a much more manageable number of data points that will be required by each site. So there will be the ability to sort of customize the amount of information you want to record and document at your institution, but for everyone else participating in the registry, there will be a limited number of data points so that we're hoping to avoid the process of data entry from being a barrier to actually participating in the registry. So this is a moving target, and as you learn, we'll be doing a beta rollout of this QC. We'll figure out how much time it takes for the average site to participate and then modify the requirements based upon that. The Quality Collaborative is sponsored by this organization, the Target Collaborative Group. It's under the supervision of myself and Bill Small. It'll be coordinated by a full-time patient research coordinator based at Loyola University and administered and supported by the TCG staff and supervised by the TCG Research Committee and the Board of Directors. We want to thank the sponsors for supporting the Quality Collaborative. The major sponsor is ICE, but we also have commitments for support from June because they have an interest in having margin probe specific data tracked within the registry. And in fact, the registry will provide an opportunity for almost any company that has complementary technology to track their data, track the use of their device in the context of intraoperative therapy. And they can do so by supporting the registry and then having a specific module related to their technology within the registry, so that only sites that participate within that module or use that device would participate in the module. And it also provides the opportunity for specific research studies or device-specific studies to be housed within the global registry. In terms of the financial aspects of participating in the registry, you should know that there will be no costs for users to use the registry. That's contingent upon actually completing your case report forms. So there will be some restrictions for those sites that participate but don't contribute data. There will be some punitive considerations, but the goal is to encourage people to participate, and by doing so, we've minimized the cost through the support that because of the support that we've received from the sponsors of the registry. We also intend to make this a benefit of membership. We don't have formal memberships now in Target Collaborative Groups, but it's an effort of this upcoming year to develop a membership program and to define the privileges of membership, and participating in the registry will be one of them. On the other side of the story, many sites may want to have support in order to conduct the registry at their institutions, but we cannot provide funding for IRB support, so that's funding that you'll have to raise locally in order to, if you need a coordinator or research assistant to enter data, you have to fund that yourself, but we'll provide infrastructure for the registry for you to use and enroll patients. And as I've already mentioned, we do have the ability to have device specific modules, and perhaps through the device-specific modules, there'll be funding coming from the device company to support users of the devices' entry of data into the Quality Collaborative. In terms of data sharing, there'll be a contract that will be signed by the users, each site. The idea is for each site to have access, complete unrestricted access to their own data. So they'll introduce data locally. We will see, the Target Collaborative Group will see de-identified data, and their data can be included in the total Quality Collaborative, which we can use to analyze outcomes of patients treated in the U.S., but they won't have direct access to data that's not enrolled or entered at their site. They can get access to that data through a process of reviewing requests for data. That'll be handled by the Quality Collaborative Committee. But at least with regard to entry of your own data and access to your own data, there's no restriction there, and you'll have full access to it. So you can report out outcomes based upon your own institution's use of RT. There's also an agreement signed between Target Collaborative Group and Zeiss. Certainly, there's been concern that Zeiss may have use of the data. We have defined a contract which restricts their use of the data, so they can only see de-identified data, and they cannot publish data, report out data regarding Target Collaborative Group without our permission, and the data will be provided to them by the research committee, so that we'll maintain primary control of the data, even though it's housed within a common Zeiss global database. We're at the point now of launching the registry, the Quality Collaborative. We're looking for 10 sites to participate in this beta rollout, or the beta test. The goal is to allow a 3-month window for use of the registry so that we can get feedback regarding your experience. And then once we have the feedback, we can make final modifications of the data fields and then roll it out to to all members of the society. So if you're interested in participating in the beta test, do attend the committee meeting that will take place tomorrow in the Bourbon Room between 2 and 4 p.m. We're specifically interested in sites that have a low barrier to roll out. So if you anticipate that you have significant regulatory requirements, IRB challenges at your local institution in order to launch a Quality Collaborative, we'd rather you wait and join later. But if you're in an individual practice or an institution where you think the barrier to roll out will be minimum, then you're the site that that should participate in the Quality Collaborative, and so we want you to join the beta test, and then for the ones who can't participate in the beta test, you can participate later once we worked out the kinks. Okay, on that point, I'd like to end my presentation, and again, questions and answers regarding this should be withheld until the committee meeting tomorrow, so that the remaining time can be committed to the presentations that are coming up. Without further ado, I'd like to bring Jay Vidya back to the podium. I've had the pleasure of working with Jay for the last almost 15 years, but he's been at this effort for over 2 decades, or about 2 decades, bringing Target to us and helping to make Target a standard of care option for all women. Commitment to bringing not just Target A to us, but also Target B, which you'll be discussing in just a moment. So with that, I'd like to bring you to the podium, Jay.